Why meaninglessness causes fatigue. How the absence of purpose quietly drains mental and physical energy. When tiredness has no clear cause, there are days when nothing physically exhausting has happened, yet you feel tired. Not the kind of tiredness that comes from effort, but something heavier and harder to explain. You move through tasks slowly, your focus drifts, and even simple actions feel delayed. It is not a lack of ability. It is a lack of energy that does not seem connected to what you have done. This kind of fatigue often begins in a place that is not physical, what meaning does to attention. Meaning shapes how attention is directed. When something feels important or connected to a larger purpose, the mind engages more easily. Effort feels justified. Without that sense of meaning, attention becomes unstable. The mind searches for a reason to stay engaged, but does not find one. This creates a subtle resistance that makes tasks feel heavier than they are. Why the brain needs direction. The brain is not only designed to process information, it is also designed to move toward goals. When a task has a clear reason, the brain organizes effort around it. Without that reason, the process becomes less efficient. Energy is still used, but it is not focused. This scattered use of energy can feel like fatigue, even when the workload is not high. The difference between effort and drain. Not all effort leads to exhaustion. When effort is connected to meaning, it can feel sustained and manageable. When it is disconnected, it feels draining. The same task can feel completely different depending on how it is perceived. Meaning does not reduce effort, but it changes how that effort is experienced. How repetition without meaning affects the mind. Repeating tasks without a clear purpose creates a sense of monotony. Over time, this reduces engagement. The mind begins to operate on minimal involvement, doing what is required without deeper focus. This state uses energy without creating a sense of progress. The result is a form of fatigue that builds gradually. The role of internal motivation. External expectations can initiate action, but they do not always sustain it. Internal motivation, which is often linked to meaning, plays a stronger role in maintaining energy. When actions align with something personally significant, the brain responds differently. There is less resistance and more continuity in effort. Why disconnection feels like exhaustion? When meaning is absent, there is a gap between action and purpose. The brain continues to perform tasks, but without a clear connection to why they matter. This creates a sense of disconnection. Over time, this disconnection feels like exhaustion. It is not the result of doing too much, but of doing without a sense of direction. How meaning restores energy. Introducing meaning does not always require changing the task itself. It can involve changing how the task is understood. Connecting actions to a broader goal or recognizing their impact can shift perception. This change can reduce resistance and increase engagement. Energy begins to feel more available because it is directed, balancing structure and purpose. Not every task will feel meaningful at all times. Structure is still necessary for completing responsibilities. However, balancing structure with purpose helps prevent fatigue from building. Even small connections to meaning can make a difference. They create a reason for effort that extends beyond the immediate task. Final thoughts. Fatigue is not always a result of physical effort. It can also come from a lack of meaning. When the brain cannot connect actions to purpose, energy becomes scattered and less effective. Understanding this makes it easier to see why some tasks feel heavier than others. Meaning does not remove effort, but it changes how that effort is experienced. Over time, this shift can make the difference between feeling drained and feeling engaged.